And hello there. Trying something a little bit different. What is a podcast? Nobody's ever done anything like that before. I'm here with a very special guest. You are?
Cannibal X Clone.
He's brand new to YouTube, you know. And...
brand new, but a big fan.
Yeah. So thought about doing this for a while. I did a podcast like fucking years ago, very random, while I was playing Dead Rising. And people seemed to like it, but then we never got around to doing more, but... I'm going to see if we can do this one. Well, the Phantom Pain came out, and Metal Gear is the big thing all over again, though it's been in our hearts for a long time.
It just seemed like a good idea to do a podcast in regards to Metal Gear, purely because we're both long-time fans of the series.
Oh, yes.
Like, the one thing we always seem to talk about, our conversations always lead to Metal Gear Solid at some point or another. So it only seemed fair that our very first podcast is the gaming series that we both fell in love with.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, the Phantom Pain coming out, thinking that's all we really want to talk about anymore. We finally meet up again after a month, and that's all we talk about throughout the whole night.
But I think the problem is, though, is that because I have finished the Phantom Pain, and you're yet to actually finish the game, because of that reason, we're not going to be discussing the Phantom Pain, purely because I don't want to put any spoilers out for Daryl. So, yeah, it's pretty much everything else we're going to talk about other than the Phantom Pain. We'll could save that for a future video, actually.
Actually, yeah.
Wait until you've finished it, and then we'll have a gander.
Once I've finally finished it. I'm taking absolutely forever through it, but that's a good thing. But, yeah, apart from the Phantom Pain, we have 4 of the main perfect games. They're absolutely amazing. May as well start off with the first game.
Well, the first Metal Gear Solid.
Very first, yeah.
What is your earliest memory of playing Metal Gear Solid, then? Like, was it the first Metal Gears, or was it Metal Gear Solid?
It was Metal Gear Solid, since the MSX wasn't really out over here, so I didn't get to play the actual first Metal Gear games for ages. But my first real memory of Metal Gear Solid was generally finding it hilarious saying, "Press the action button to climb the ladder."
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. Like, I never realized games could do that back then and be okay with it. That's why Kojima's been such a unique kind of person, because he just does not care. And it's brilliant. What about you?
For me, I had an original demo disc for the PlayStation 1, which I wish I still had because it's worth so much goddamn money now. And it was the original demo disc where you played from the start of Metal Gear Solid all the way up until the DARPA chief.
Oh, yeah.
And then the game ended, you had the trailer for the game, and then boom, that's it over. And I was obsessed. I used to play that trailer. I used to play that demo so goddamn much.
Yeah.
Like, I knew where everything was, like the SOCOM pistol, the chaff grenades. I knew everything about that game, up until the DARPA chief.
Yeah.
So I used to beg my mum to get me the game. I was begging her, I was like, "Mum, get me this game." She eventually comes home one day.
Oh.
She says, "I've got you a surprise." I was like, "Oh my god, what?" Bear in mind, I'm like 8 years old, something like that. I'm like, "Oh my god, tell me it's Metal Gear Solid." She pulls out a big, chunky PS1 game. I'm just like, "Oh my god, it's Metal Gear Solid." It's Metal Gear Solid Special Missions.
Oh.
Which you can't play without the Metal Gear Solid disc.
Oh no. Oh,
and I was just like, "Oh my god, no!"
What is this treachery?
I don't remember when I actually first got Metal Gear Solid, but I remember it was the only thing I played. It was my earliest memory of being a gamer, I guess, was the PlayStation 1 Metal Gear Solid.
Man.
I mean, I didn't actually play the first 2 Metal Gears until the HD collection was released.
Right, yeah.
You know, because you had Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, and then you had the original 2 Metal Gears as well. That's the first time I ever played them. I'd seen videos on YouTube prior to playing them, but obviously it's not really that fun to watch.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, don't worry about that. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid, like... I mean, I remember mainly watching my brother and my dad playing it back on the original PlayStation. And yeah, I didn't play the Metal Gear games until actually relatively recently. I forget exactly what brought up to, but I just kind of wanted to see where it all started. And, I mean, completely forget about Snake's Revenge or the NES Metal Gear games.
oh, that was that was made by an American company, wasn't it? And
Kojima
Hideo
didn't
Kojima
want
was
it.
just like, "No, go away.
No.
I'm making a sequel now."
Yeah. And I don't know, I just wanted to see where it all started. And you realise, once you've played the first Metal Gear games, you realise there's a lot that was in Metal Gear Solid that all started in mainly Metal Gear 2. And like the cardboard box, that was in instance the very beginning.
Can I just ask, speaking, just to go quickly off subject,
Yeah.
have you played any other games that were not made, or at least had Hideo Kojima part of? Because they were all terrible. You
Yeah.
had, like, Metal Gear Acid, for example.
Mm.
It is god-awful. And I swear to God, the only reason the Metal Gear games are so amazing as they are is because of his genius. He knows exactly what the fans are going to want, what they're going to like. So if he's not a part of it, then it just goes to hell. I mean, look at the Phantom Pain. Because there was that beef between Konami and Kojima, they removed his likeness from the game.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't say Hideo Kojima production, or like, he's barely even in the game.
Oof.
Except for, I believe there's a side up where you rescue him as like an Easter egg, like in Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
I believe there is. I think I've done it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Like,
So, back to subject then, Metal Gear Solid 1.
right. Metal Gear Solid. What a game. Like, there was no game like it. Like, it brought Metal Gear to life over here outside of Japan. It's like, yeah, Metal Gear, as I said, only came really out on the MSX.
It defined the stealth genre.
Yeah.
Because following that, like, I'm pretty sure at the time there was also Siphon Filter.
Oh, yeah, I think so, yeah.
And that was good for stealth, but it didn't nearly have the prospect that Metal Gear had with the whole, like, the air vents and... I can't even really explain it. I only ever played Siphon Filter 2, I believe. And that was even that was a demo disc. I've never really played them. Then obviously, in my opinion, it led on to, you had better Metal Gear Solid games. Like, obviously, 3 and 4. But it also paved the way for games like Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Which are incredible games. And Hideo Kojima himself, I believe in an interview, said that he respects games like Siphon Filter and Splinter Cell because of how unique and just great they are in the stealth genre. Like, they each have their own unique things, and nothing has ever really been taken from other games. Like, they keep to their own. That, for example, the creators of Splinter Cell, I believe it's a Tom Clancy game, isn't it? Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really take a lot from Metal Gear Solid because there's no point. They have their own genres.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been crossovers, obviously, like Assassin's Creed. I don't know if you've played Peace Walker.
Yes.
But you can get the hay bale box, which you have to do a leap of faith into. And obviously in Metal Gear Solid 4, you can get the Altair outfit as well at the start of the game.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure Nolan North does some voices in Metal Gear Solid 4 as well.
Really?
The voice of Desmond in Assassin's Creed. I'm sure he does. Like, they do little bits of crossovers like that, but I'm pretty sure... Other than that, like, they tend not to steal ideas from each other, and they're very unique in their own ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, alright. So, as I said, Metal Gear Solid, the original game. We're very good at going off topic, but that's
the best
fine.
part of a podcast.
Yeah, really. I mean,
I have to ask, who's your favourite boss in the first Metal Gear Solid game? Because for me, it was all the bosses, in general, made that game.
Oh, definitely. Foxhound. I mean... Psycho Mantis, probably the most memorable.
God. Like, that was the most unique boss fight you could ever have on a PlayStation game. The whole having to put your controller port into a different one.
Yeah.
And, it was unique. Like, you read your memory cards.
Yeah, that was amazing.
If you had the vibration controller, what's that called?
Yeah,
You're a PlayStation player.
There's DualShock.
DualShock. If you had that, he'd make your pad vibrate. It was great.
Lay it as flat on the floor as you can. Oh man, yeah, that whole game, and even if you couldn't like put it in the second controller port, there was still a way to get around that. And Colonel would even, if you die, will tell you, like, if there's some reason you can't do that, but you just shoot the statues.
Okay, what was your least... Okay, not your least favourite, the most annoying part of the first Metal Gear Solid for you? Because I have already known mine for a long time.
I mean, in general, the controls don't translate well now. They're not as good. It's hard to go back to for the controls, but in terms of an actual part of the game, oof. I mean, it got kind of tedious later on when you have to go back and forth with the PAL key, kind of.
The backtracking was a bit annoying, but at least you didn't have to go really far back.
Yeah.
Like, you only had to go back a few areas.
Yeah, true.
For me, it had to be the nuclear disposal facility where you can't use your weapons.
That
It's just
was
like, oh my god, like, go away. Let me
awesome.
use my guns. If I blow myself up, so be it. They lose anyway. I've just set off a nuke.
They
Mission
can go around.
complete.
They meet you, like, they'll go around shooting as much as they want.
They have their guns, and if you get spotted, they will gun you down
Yeah.
like a bunch of farmers chasing a fox. But you can't even pull out your SOCOM pistol and shoot them a couple of times. No, God forbid. No, you can't use your weapons, but they're perfectly fine. Like, what would the difference be if they were to shoot a nuclear warhead and blow you up? What's the difference between them doing it and you doing it? Either way, everyone loses.
I think that's the thing, though. They don't actually blow up. They said that the detonation mechanism has been removed, but it could leak plutonium.
Yeah,
that would
and
be a
I believe
serious
plutonium
problem.
isn't flammable.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
but-
sure it's not, and it doesn't exactly have an ignition, and for it to ignite, it has a very, very high heat, like, requirement, which a gunshot is not going to do.
But still, you wouldn't want to be around it.
I mean, hell, like, again, completely off topic, a good example is, have you ever watched Mythbusters?
A bit.
Have you ever seen the episode where they checked if flicking like a lighter or a match into a puddle of petrol could set it on fire, and the match just doused?
I think so.
That's
yeah.
a good example right there.
We need to get more realism into this. Which I love about Metal Gear Solid. It's simultaneously the most realistic and stupidly over-the-top game you can ever think of.
Right, so barring the time, shall we move on to Metal Gear Solid 2?
If you want to go over that, sure, totally. Alright then.
You know, because see, a lot of people, honestly, hated the idea of Raiden.
Yeah.
I thought he's a great character. I still do to
pretty
this
cool.
day. I think he's a good character.
He's a bit of a weenie, but he's deep.
Yeah, a lot of people were like pissed, obviously, because oh my god, it's not Snake. We were tricked. Blah blah blah. It's like deal with it. It's still Metal Gear Solid,
Yeah.
regardless of who you're playing as.
I do love that they were actually tricked, because the trailers of the game
Yeah, they
only
edited them
showed
to show Snake. Yeah,
which is amazing.
I'm pretty sure. Is
Oh.
it in Substance you can actually play through the entire game as Snake as well? I think.
In Substance, I think so. I mean, there's some extra missions you can do, especially ones
I
where
never had
Meryl shows
Substance
up.
though. I only ever had 2.
That's on the HD collection.
Yeah,
I think it is a Substance and Subsistence.
I think the part I disliked about 2, in comparison to 1, was obviously every location in the game looked the same. Because you're on the big
Yeah.
shell. It's just one big, like, floating oil rig.
Totally.
And
yeah.
it just got bland and generic after a while. These tight little rooms and corridors.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I can understand the stealth aspect of it. You have more places to hide. They added in some new features like the hanging.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just, you're in this room, have a run around, avoid the enemies, go into another walkway where you've got to run around, avoid some enemies, to go into another room where you walk around and avoid some enemies. It was the most repetitive goddamn game I've ever played, but I still loved it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I really hate Strut E the most. Strut E and D, the sediment pool and the
The
parcel.
sediment pool.
Yeah.
Have you played it on like the harder difficulties? I
Yes.
believe in your Let's Play you're playing it on hard, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which obviously if you check out his channel, I believe you, at the time of recording, you're on episode 24 currently uploaded.
Around about, yeah. Taking
Yeah.
like 3 months to upload a video.
But like, you're playing on the hard difficulty, aren't you? Not
Yeah.
extreme, because that's a bit, you know.
Yeah, no radar.
Yeah. But you're playing with no radar anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No radar.
Which is impressive, I'll give you that. 'Cause
'Cause it all started
Well-
from the first game.
on the harder difficulties, they see you so easily.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as soon as you walk into the sediment pool, the guy on the other side's like, huh, who's that? And starts walking over to you, like, go away, you prick.
And then you end up to shoot everybody with trank darts. Sometimes you end up missing them, and then they turn around knowing what that sound was. Oh.
What was that noise?
Oh.
Oh, can I just revert back to Metal Gear Solid 1? Best part of that game for me, leaving footprints and running around one container.
Yeah.
Whose footprints are these? Just walk around that container 50 times.
A surveillance camera?
Yes, yes, Snake. In a facility where there are nuclear warheads and controlled by terrorists, you're amazed that there is a security camera. Really?
Well done. Greatest spy in the world. Most amazing
It's like
warrior.
what I told you earlier when we were just like, a Hindy? Like, what's a Hindy doing? No, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
Yeah.
Well, Snake, this game's based in Alaska, and Alaska isn't that far from Russia. Is it that surprising?
What do you think? Oh, jeez. But again, that's just the charm of the game. Nothing makes sense, but everything makes
It
sense.
still makes me laugh, though.
Yeah.
Okay, favourite part of Metal Gear Solid 2?
Oh, I mean, the story was amazingly, complexly amazing.
It was complex, but I think the stupidest part of that game, and it led to so many stupid storylines in future games,
Yeah.
is the whole Liquid Ocelot thing. You know, he's got Liquid's arm attached, it's
Yeah.
taking over his brain or whatever. It's just like, that was the that seemed like a lazy excuse for a relatively bad sequel. I'm not going to lie, I didn't really like Metal Gear Solid 4. For that reason, the story was very bland to me.
Yeah.
It was too generic. But we'll get to that later, obviously.
PMCs.
But yeah, and then my favourite part of the game, I'm not going to lie, it was the tanker chapter.
Yeah.
That was more like the first Metal Gear Solid for me.
Yeah.
Now, when I go back, it's all nostalgic. I don't care what part of the game I'm on.
Totally, yeah.
But at the time of playing, I liked the tanker chapter most purely
What I
because
do.
it felt like Metal Gear Solid to me.
Yeah.
And not because of Snake, just because of the layout and the game, and obviously you had Otacon as well, and I don't know, it will always be my favourite part of that game.
And it has the coolest intro, just Snake on the Hudson Bridge, smoking with his massive cloak on, does backflips off the bridge to get onto the tanker.
And then, because convenience, your stealth camo is broken.
Oh no! God. It'd be crazy if they just cut that bit out on easy mode. So it's like, fine, have stealth camo, we don't care.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be throwing it at you, so they should at least give you the opportunity to find the stealth camo.
Oh, well, no, I don't play these on easy.
What about the dog tags?
The dog tags were cool.
I liked the collecting the dog tags because you got like the bandana and stuff for Snake at the start and the wigs for Raiden. But what I disliked, I think, was the HD collection because there was an achievement or a trophy for collecting them all.
Yeah.
And that means you had to play through on like extreme difficulty
You
and
absolutely
everything.
need to get the trophies, like
And
you.
on the harder difficulties as well. The when you go to hold up an AI, you know, like freeze, hands up, whatever. Like 9 times out of 10, they'll put their hands up and then they'll quickly spin around and smack you one. And it's just like, God damn it!
I think that's
And then
mainly
you
the
die
big
instantly
guys.
because they pull their gun out and shoot you.
Ugh.
And you can't survive that many shots on extreme. So while you're on the floor trying to get up, you die.
Yeah. Oh, it's unforgiving sometimes. Like, I mean, I love how 3, if you keep killing guys, they'll just eventually they're all gone. When 2, you keep killing them, they'll kind of just keep coming. I'm pretty sure.
Something I have to ask, you might know, because I'm still a bit confused. What is the difference between Extreme and European Extreme?
I think European Extreme forces that if you get discovered, it's game over.
Right.
I think that, and I think you just take more damage.
Oh, fair enough.
That's a big thing. You have to.
It's literally the mode for pro players, basically.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to play it.
I tried a bit of European Extreme Metal Gear Solid 2. I finished the tanker chapter,
Oh, yeah.
but I could not do the big shell. Because obviously the harder the difficulty, the more enemies there are spawning, and
Yeah.
I couldn't keep track of where they all were. You don't have a radar, keep getting spotted and killed, and it took me about half an hour to get out to the first strut.
You can't tag the enemies now like you can in the Phantom Pain.
In the Phantom Pain, God, they're just easy. I'm sorry, but they are. They're too easy. The game's too easy for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's. I mean, well, at the same time, you get spotted. It's really easy to just mow everyone down because it's basically designed to be a shooter.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Plus, it doesn't matter because it's open world. It doesn't matter about getting S ranks and that. Whereas in the other Metal Gear Solids, like the linear ones,
Yeah.
it was if you killed somebody, you negated like a big boss rank.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or a Foxhound emblem, and it was just, you know, it's because of those reasons that made the games unique. I like the change for. Because don't forget, it isn't tactical. What's it called? Tactical espionage
Action.
action.
And now it's operations.
Operations, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the difference. But I think they could have done a lot of things different in the Phantom Pain. In my honest opinion, feel free to talk in the comments about if you agree with me or not, because I really want to know your opinions. What do you think they could have done different in the Phantom Pain?
Yeah, absolutely. Get all involved. That'd be great. Oh, anyway.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
3, my favourite.
My favourite too.
3
Oh
is
yeah, high five.
amazing.
And Peace Walker, not gonna lie. It's a close second.
Peace Walker's pretty cool. I mean, it links it all together.
It's not Metal Gear Solid 3 though.
No, 3 was...
I mean, it is technically a direct sequel to 3.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I liked it so much. I like Big Boss over Snake. Oh, Big Boss is over Solid Snake any day. I don't care, Big Boss is the legend. Like, he is the legendary soldier. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, Solid Snake's good and all. But don't you actually find out that Liquid Snake had the better genes, and Solid Snake's the one with the recessive ones?
Yeah.
So therefore, is he technically the legendary soldier, or is he just lucky?
That's the thing. I mean, the boss tells you there's no such thing as luck on the battlefield.
Exactly.
Who knows? Again, there's probably a lot that Kojima hasn't told us that he wants to keep to himself.
And we're never going to know now. He's left, he's done.
God, oh, that hurts me.
I'm still hoping that he'll just make his own gaming company.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine that you buy a Metal Gear game and it doesn't say Konami, it says Kojima Productions. And then you know there and then it's like, orgasm!
Absolutely. Well, that was me when I was installing the Phantom Pain.
Metal Gear Solid 3. Best part about it, in my opinion, camouflage and face paint.
It was cool.
The jungle,
it was so cool.
all the different environments. You've got to switch it up, and obviously the easing, the medical system.
Yeah.
And most of it isn't in future games now, and that's what annoys me. It's like, I absolutely love the fact that if you fell from a great height and snapped your leg, like, you had to go into the menu, you had to find somewhere to hide, go into the menu, treat your leg. Like, you had to bandage it, disinfect it, blah blah blah, splint it, and that, and then you're done. You're better, and even then you've still got to wait for your health bar to go back to full while it's healing. Yeah. Then with food as well, you got hungry, your stamina bar went down, so you had to find food, and food can be poisonous. Food can be, well, just bad for you in general, and food can go bad if you leave it in your inventory too long.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean? It was great for that reason.
It's like, oh, I don't play for a couple days, everything's gone rotten. That's perfect. I mean, that's a lot of people complained about the camouflage and face paint, just generally because you had to keep going into menus all the time to keep changing it. I mean, as a kid, I didn't really mind that, but I mean now, well, let's think, in my Let's Play, which I've still yet to put up, I have Flecked on,
which I'm still very waiting. Like, I'm really anticipating that Let's Play. I love that game.
So, I forget exactly how you get it, but you can get Flecked on, which I swear they made purely just because it is amazing and good for almost all situations. Flecked on was amazing, but the original bunch, like, not so much. Like,
there was a lot of camos you never really use.
Yeah, like the Japan face paint, UK face paint.
Well, they were there just for fun, weren't they? But the face paints could, like the country ones could be used if you use the Soviet face paint. The enemies are less likely to shoot you or spot you straight away, which was useful on the hard difficulties. To this day, Metal Gear Solid 3 is the only game I have completed on extreme difficulty.
Oh.
Because I've found all the ways around it. Like wearing, you know, that camo you can get where the back is the US flag and the front is the Soviet one? That with the face paint, you can walk essentially right up to a soldier's face and he'll salute you.
Wow.
Yeah, and then at the moment you turn around, they see the flag, I'm like, oh my god, America!
Capitalist dog. Gosh. I love that game. Just
that hurt my throat.
It's like just kind of being in a situation where you're just so close to a guy, but your camo is amazing. You're just pressed up against a wall. They don't know. They can't see you. Turn around, grab.
The Cobra unit, though.
The Cobra unit.
The Cobra fights were great. There was a tactic for each one as well, which you had to try and figure out. Your team and that could give you some information, like, oh, why don't you try this? But it's not like the previous games where they're immediately like, we know what to do, this is what you do, there you go, job done. No, they're like, you could try this, but we don't know if it'll work. And then you've got to decide if it's worth the risk, like with the Fear. You can throw rotten food or poisonous mushrooms.
That's the cool thing to do.
Yeah, and he'll go and eat them.
Yeah.
Also, the end. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different ways you can beat the end. And pretty much near the start of the game, essentially, you can shoot him in the wheelchair.
Yes, you totally can. That is incredible.
And then you get hit in the head with the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Then you got, obviously, if you leave it a couple of days without coming back on, Snakes fell asleep.
Yeah.
And the end just takes you back. Like, he'll never kill you. He'll take you back to a few areas beforehand.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you leave it, I think it's 2 weeks. You can set your PlayStation clock 2 weeks ahead, and he died of old age. But what I liked about the end, though, is with all the other Cobra members, to get their camo, all you have to do is beat them non-lethally.
Yeah.
With the end, if you beat him non-lethally, you get his Tranquilizer Mosin Nagant sniper rifle. To get his camo, you have to hold him up.
Yes.
Which means you've got to find him, get close to him, hold him up, point your gun at his head, he'll shake the camo out, flashbang you and run away like a little bitch.
For
you to find
really
again.
Fast. You can run very fast.
Or, again, I remember, like, getting the Markor achievement / trophy in the HD collection, you have to eat his parrot. As well as the Tsuchinoko.
And that'll piss him off if you eat his parrot.
I caught a Tsuchinoko in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, you did.
I showed you the picture.
God.
I wish there was an achievement for that. There's not. I wish there was.
I don't see why not. Everyone loves achievements now.
Right. Shall we move on to 4?
That's the thing. I don't remember a whole lot about
Neither
4.
do I.
I've only played it once. I'm meaning to play it again soon, but I mean,
I don't remember a whole lot about it.
no.
Like I said, it wasn't one of my favourites, so it never really stuck with me. I played it because, obviously, it doesn't matter what the game is. I'm going to love Metal Gear Solid as long as it's a Kojima game.
Yeah.
But, like, seriously, don't get me started on Metal Gear Acid. I'll be here for days. But Metal Gear Solid 4, it just seemed like it was just an excuse to finish a saga.
Yeah.
And even then they ended it with, spoiler alert, if for some reason you haven't finished the game yet. Obviously, at the end of the game, Big Boss is still alive and that.
Yeah.
They've been kept alive or whatever, and all
Something
that
like
bollocks with, it was Solidus's body and they swapped it or whatever. And my god, there is actually the very end of the Phantom Pain, you'll learn how Big Boss survived.
Oh.
So, I'm not going to say anything. But my
Yeah.
god, you need to finish that game.
I'm getting round to it.
I believe it's like mission 49 or whatever. You need to finish this game because I want to talk about the Phantom Pain. I have nobody to talk to about how this game ends.
Well, we're definitely going to have a spoiler alert like at the beginning of this anyway, because talking about... I mean, considering we only gave ourselves...
I'm not
about
going to
half
say
an hour.
spoiler alert, to be honest, because with how old these games are, it's a matter of if you haven't played them, you can quite easily look them up on YouTube and watch somebody play them.
Yeah.
Like, with the Phantom Pain, if this was a video about the Phantom Pain, understandably, spoiler alert, the game's not even been out a month yet.
Yeah.
But when you consider for example, Metal Gear Solid 4, that was like, what, 2009?
Mm-hmm.
6 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like,
2008,
no,
I think.
there is no spoiler alert, I'm sorry. There's not.
Get
It's a
fucked.
matter of, yeah, get fucked. If you haven't played it, then fucking play it, okay? Don't moan at me.
Do yourself a favour. My god. So, I mean, since we don't have a whole lot to say about 4... Okay, well, 4, you get to... The 2 Metal Gears fighting. You get to be
Oh,
Rex.
Rex versus Ray.
Rex versus
Oh,
Ray.
wow.
That
was
brings
like-
it back.
That was so... that should have been so much longer. Or the end of the
Testosterone.
game where you're fighting Liquid Ocelot and it goes through the 4 different games life bars.
Yeah.
That was a good feature. With the music playing from each one as well. The music in the games though.
Oh,
My god.
fucking Snake Eater theme. Oh,
But you've played Peace Walker, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like the Peace Walker theme.
yeah.
God, that's my favourite theme out of all of them.
Man.
You know, do 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 do. When you're actually fighting Peace Walker when that's playing, it's
It's really
just-
creepy in Peace Walker how the robots generally sing at you. That's kind of creepy. I like it.
what was if you finish Peace Walker?
Yes.
What was the hardest one for you of the
Hardest
4?
Fight.
Because you had the what's the first one called? The Papua, is it?
I forget which one's the Chrysalis, but yeah, there's
The Chrysalis was the
pupa.
flying one. The Pupa, which was like that tank,
So
the little tank.
Shagohod.
Yeah, like a Shagohod. Then you had the Chrysalis, which was the flying one,
Yeah.
which in my opinion was the easiest.
Yeah, he was pretty.
Then you had the
amazing.
massive one,
Oh yeah.
the Cocoon,
Yes.
that massive
I couldn't
goddamn
believe how.
tank.
Why isn't that the new Metal Gear?
Yeah.
That thing is gigantic.
And then you had obviously Peace Walker. It
Yeah.
wasn't Peace Walker, was it? It was the.
I think there was another one.
I'm pretty sure it was called Peace Walker though. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was good though. And then obviously Zeke.
Zeke
Our building Zeke.
being abducted by Paz in her underwear for some reason. I don't exactly say why, but yeah, I think we'll talk a bit about Peace Walker. I only played Peace Walker less than a week. Less than a week before Phantom Pain came out. Yeah, and I mean, I kind of rushed through Peace Walker a bit just to get the story in me, and then I played.
I've still
Sequels.
yet to completely finish it. I've still got some missions to do.
Oh man.
It's been a while since I played it. I might go back and play it tonight actually and get some out of the way. But on that note, it's the 29-minute mark. So
Decided to keep this relatively short just because decided, you know, kind of getting used to this whole thing. But I mean, okay, then before I forget, we need names for this thing if we do more of it, which we probably will. Somebody put in comments saying what names would be. It's probably not always going to be Metal Gear. We'll have many topics.
yeah, we're gonna have lots of different topics to talk about really.
Yeah.
As soon as you finish the Phantom Pain, for example, we can talk about that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, make sure you don't have a Twitter yet.
I should make one.
Be sure to obviously check out this is going to be uploaded on both our channels anyway.
Yeah.
So check out our other content, obviously DazzaW and Cannibal X Clone.
DazzaW.
Feel free to check out my Twitter account if you want to get in touch with me. It's at Cannibal X Clone.
Yeah, all the links will be in the description, I'm sure.
Yeah, give us some ideas on a name. And I guess that we'll just catch you in the next one then.
It'll be great. And yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, and hopefully it's something different for both of us.
Let us know if you guys like this. Let us know. Give us some ideas what you want us to talk about in the future, and we'll get back to you.
We'll hopefully get this set up a bit more optimal now. Maybe get like a pop filter or a big stand.
So on that note,
yeah,
let's end this then.
Thank you very much for watching. It's watching. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be pictures.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you very much. Good.